I'm back. Um, so, hello. Uh, I'm back, and hopefully, today we're gonna talk about ethics. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those videos. Not like any of my other videos are ever of anything of any other nature. But um, I have notes this time. Hopefully that will help. What do I want to say? I say this video is going to be about ethics. It is more going to be about coming to a conclusion it's talking about coming to a conclusion. What do I mean by this? I think it's hard to do. I think it's hard to come to a real conclusion. By that I mean kind of impossible. At least the route I have taken has not resulted in many of them. There has been certain things which I conclude more often than other things. And I use the word often because I think sometimes you can conclude two different things under two different scenarios. However, not really always. I think the things I have concluded I'm pretty strict with sometimes, to the point where I've been concerned whether or not I'm a bit too much of a dogmatist with my own ideas. I say my own ideas, my own conclusions. But this idea of coming to a conclusion, it has struck me how much people have conclusions, and it strikes me as bizarre. You can nearly say anything to anyone, and an unhealthy majority seems to have some ability to come to some conclusion. Relatively quickly, I may add. I come to conclusions every now and then. To give an example, I don't deem homosexuality as bad. Or I am an atheist. Agnostic. Fuck. I think I'll do the animals again. I think killing animals is not bad, because I don't believe in bad, but I don't believe killing animals is a special exception we can make under any conclusion. And I say under any conclusion, under any sort of, we have a governing principle which is universal in its properties, and by enacting it we come to the conclusion that we can kill animals. I don't think that's ever reasonable. I think your ideas have to be specifically not universal, i.e. kind of biased and not treated fairly across all places. So situational and very much opinion-based, or not opinion-based, but and this is what I was thinking, is to an extent I kind of feel like a lot of people's morals are based on a form of utilitarianism, of selfishness. Like this idea perhaps that we eat for nutrition. Yes, this is true. Majoritively, I mean, fundamentally, kind of is. You could say pleasure, but I think it's slightly less of what we eat. It might be more of a conscientious reason, but a conscious reason. I got a notification. I don't know if you guys are going to hear that. However, I don't think that kind of idea is something you can use to be based on a morality, let alone a fair one, because under that circumstance, it's just necessity, like, or personal thriving necessity, not even like a balanced necessity where we'll take a reasonable amount and we'll take less. What I'm right now trying to say, and I feel like I just didn't do a good job at it at the moment, it's kind of like some people, my mother is one, they tend to eat meat depending on how much they need it or when they need it and feel it. I tend to be the same. That's why when I say I'm a vegetarian, I kind of cringe inside, because I'm not. Like, I'm not a vegetarian very, very strictly. I can eat meat maybe once every month or so. I eat fish once a month, so not really a vegetarian, am I? Fucking hypocrite. But I still don't see that as like, okay, now we've achieved the moral standpoint. No. And I think that's one thing I fail to always sometimes get across, is that I don't think my positions I tend to hold. Yeah, he's made a video about coming to a conclusion. I don't know, he does is talk about himself. Fuck. But yes, I don't think any of my conclusions put me in a moral high ground. I actually think they kind of put me in a moral lower ground because I am aware of them. I will say it though. They to me the truth, and therefore I think I'm pretty smart. I think I'm thinking pretty good, and therefore I might say I'm more responsible. I have to be more responsible because I think I know it. However, who's got the brains? Me. Yeah, something like that. Yes, and to go on another perspective, I'm going to post this any fucking. Yes, I am. Going on, if we're going to talk more about conclusions for the sake of it, there's another nature of conclusions which I think is very close to that of people who come to conclusions in a self-centered utilitarianistic way, and that is common sense based on that kind of utilitarianism. Like, if you don't follow the political system or politics, or you don't follow the law, it just goes crazy, or like, not just goes crazy, but like, then you're breaking the law and therefore bad. Because like system, like, there's like system and break, that's pretty fucked up, man. And I think that is just like, so, that is so thick. Like, I get what you're saying. You're saying you have a processing machine which only works with ones and zeros, and you chuck a 2 in there and it all just goes to hell. It doesn't work. The thing is, that doesn't prove anything. It doesn't do anything. I mean, you could say it proves what I had just said with the 2 not functioning, but I mean, that in itself is nothing. So, and now you might say, well, I tend to have this position of nothing, so like, come on, hit me with something at least. Or even suggest it. Like, give me a clear-cut thing. Oof. Can I? I can't right now, and I probably never will. It's funny, one of the things I was reading in my philosophy textbooks, it was something by Aristotle, and he was saying that, like, the ultimate, everything is if everything is a means to an end, that end must be the best thing. Then he comes to the conclusion that best thing, the thing that best fits that category, is happiness. Because everything is in the pursuit of happiness, and happiness is in the pursuit of nothing besides itself. It is the end. Uh, so, comes to this idea. How was I going to pull this together? What did I just say? Oh yeah, but he says yeah, but he also says so that, however, if this isn't like if there is no end, if there is no end to the means, then the means are made pointless, and everything kind of ends up being pointless. It's like, what's the point of art if it doesn't get appreciated, or all that kind of shit? Like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, there may be no end. I kind of, the artist for reference I thought was pretty good, but I had this picture of like, the Mercy meme where like the girl's under the rubble, and I just imagine Aristotle under the rubble, and around him is like nothingness, like meaninglessness and pointlessness, and then Mercy comes and it's like, what's his name? Jean-Paul Starter, like, it's you're the meaning. Yeah, I tend to. The thing is, I like existentialism up until it like hits ideas of reality and free will and stuff like that. I do think, if I'm correct, like, I know Jean-Paul Sartre is like, you make all the decisions, you make no decision. Pfft. You're bad faith. You. But I do compatible. Conclusion. Oh gosh, rambling, my boy. Why you ramble? Last week, I was in my geography classroom, and there's this big chalkboard, and I always feel this like wish just to go right on it and stuff, put something up there to say. And I had like begun with this like, the will to life, a will to power, yada yada yada. I can't remember what I said. Funny enough, I don't really understand the will to power, Nietzsche's will to power, other than it's like one of the wills, or like the fundamental wills. But outside that, I don't really know anything. However, it has elicited the thought in my head about how I probably just want something to say. Like, I don't really get a chance to write anything down or publicly announce anything. Don't really get to spit in anyone's face and say, yeah, that's what I think. And I think I just want something to say. And if I'm going to wrap this all up about conclusions again, I think with this conclusion thing, I don't have one. It's hard for me to come to one, to the point where I don't see how I will. And am I going to use my forecast as me never being able to have a conclusion as my conclusion? I don't know. But all I do know is that I sometimes get tired, and it's not necessarily that I want a conclusion for the sake of having one, because having something that I think is faulty really doesn't serve me, and it could never serve me any way I want it to, at least. But I get tired sometimes. Remember Nietzsche once talked about this like idea that you can take on too many virtues or too many attempts at being virtuous. It's better to take a couple and be good at them than take along too many and be like the camel and break your back and run into the woods. I don't know. So far, my back doesn't feel to be broken yet, but I think the only time I feel like it's going to start to strain is when I start doubting, or not doubting, but not even doubting. Doubting, I don't think is a bad thing at all. But it is creating excuses. There's a big difference. And one thing I try to make sure when my fear of avoiding dogmatism is not for imitating dogmatism I've seen in places that I used to be part of. No saying any names. Don't want to get chucked out of Oman. Fucking laws. But yeah, I think this will be done. I'm not talking with my full voice, which is kind of annoying because I don't know. Hopefully I'll make another video soon, maybe even now. Might have something else to say. I've been wanting to make a video talking about like toxic male behavior, and I'm using a word which is oversaturated in a way that I feel like is counterproductive, because one of the things I want to talk about it is overused words in a negative connotation doesn't help, perpetuates the toxic masculinity cycle. Yeah, but I might not. I feel like that something needs a proper video. I might wait until I go back home for vacation and do it then, because I feel like it needs pointing out. But until then, I love you. One thing Alex Aristotle did say is that he thinks love, a friendship, is a form of love or comes from love, and I agree. I think I love my friends. Oh, devil. I pray to the devil. Yeah. Bye.